Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the start for Fear the Walking Dead Season 3. In this one first, we're going to give our thoughts on Cliff Curtis, the actor who plays Travis from Fear the Walking Dead, being cast for several Avatar sequels in a main lead role. And I'll put the link in the description for you guys for comicbook.com's article on the casting. So it says, Cliff Curtis, who stars as the high school English teacher turned zombie killer Travis Manawa in AMC's Fear the Walking Dead, has landed the lead role in James Cameron's upcoming Avatar sequels. According to Deadline, the 48-year-old New Zealand actor signed on for all 4 sequels, and he will be portraying Tono Wari, who is described as the leader of the Kaina, the Reef People clan. So it sounds like he's going to be in a pretty major role in Avatar. So in the Avatar sequels here, several of them. So that's kind of crazy. So it says Curtis joins a cast that includes its returning stars Zoe Saldana, Sam Worthington, and Sigourney Weaver. Filming is expected to begin next year at Wellington's Stone Street Studios. Seeing as though Curtis's character is still very much alive on the Walking Dead spin-off series, one could speculate based on this news that Travis's days may be numbered. Committing to starring in 4 big-budget and time-consuming films doesn't leave much time for starring in a television series. Plus, it reminds us of how Sasha's death was telegraphed well ahead of time when Sonequa Martin Green was booked for the lead role in Star Trek Discovery. Then it has some more details about Avatar being, one of the highest-grossing movies of all time. It's really the original Avatar earned $2.8 billion worldwide, released in 2009. So it remains the highest-grossing film of all time in the worldwide box office, as far as box office numbers go. So that is pretty crazy news for fans of Fear the Walking Dead. And personally, I do see what they're saying here. I mean, it depends kind of how much of a lead role he's going to have in the Avatar movies, I think. I don't think he'd be like our A-list cast lead, because there's, aren't there other characters from the original Avatar that would likely come back, like Sigourney Weaver and Sam Worthington. So it's tricky to say at this point, because it's just casting news how much he's going to be involved in the Avatar movies. But if he's doing several of them, and if he's been cast for all of those, it doesn't sound good for Fear the Walking Dead. The other thing that's, for me, that really has me a bit worried after this casting news is because Travis, for me, is my standout favorite character from Fear so far. Now, a lot of people like some of the other characters. Nicholas is another one that a lot of people like a lot. Strand has his quite a few fans. But for me, personally, Travis is my favorite character from Fear. So if they kill Travis off in Fear, especially after what happened in the Season 2 finale, because personally, I liked his part in the Season 2 finale better than anybody else, and favorite character in the series so far for sure. So if they were to kill him off this upcoming year, like in season, he probably, Season 3 is most likely wrapped entirely, and they're probably just working on, editing and putting everything together in that, or finalizing it, so we're working on like the back part of it. So it probably won't affect Fear the Walking Dead Season 3 at all, but it has been renewed for Season 4, so we do know Fear the Walking Dead is getting a Season 4 in 2018 next year. If he's going to be cast in Avatar, depending on when he's going to have to start working on that, that could raise some problems for Season 4 and for Fear as a whole, because I think maybe you could compare Travis to kind of like the Rick of Walking Dead. Now, it's not as clear-cut as that, because Nicholas has a lot of time, and Travis, Rick in The Walking Dead is clearly a standout and clearly has a ton of time in the original Walking Dead, and is kind of our focal point character, with the others kind of around him, and he's like our lead A-lister. It's hard to say for Fear who that lead A-lister character is, but most sites I've seen in blogs will compare Travis to Rick as him being maybe the closest character to resemble a Rick, because Nicholas is a lot more flawed than Rick, and he's not really like a group leader. He's kind of becoming that, but So far, Travis, I would say, is probably the character that most closely resembles maybe a breakout lead in the series, unless you want to say maybe make an argument that Madison could be or Nicholas. So for me personally, this one is really kind of bad news. I'm not a huge fan of Avatar. I mean, I've seen the movie and it was really great and everything, but am I really stoked or excited to see the spin-offs of Avatar? Not really. I might check it out if it's James Cameron, so his kind of movie series here. So he's great, and he's done, some legendary action movies, Aliens and the Terminator 2 and everything. So he's done some amazing stuff, and it is like I can't downplay it. Avatar is like the biggest box office movie of all time. So obviously it's very well done. It's very good. But for me, I'm a little bit disappointed to hear that he's going to be doing that, because I am worried how much it's going to affect Fear when you have 16 episodes of Fear filming. Is that going to cause a conflict? Are they going to have to kill Travis off? What are they going to have to do with this? Because it's not just like it's one movie. He's signing on to a pretty big deal, it sounds like, and maybe they can work around and maybe they can do both. I'd almost say they kind of have to, because at this point in the way they've set up Travis at the end of season 2, it'd be pretty weird to kill him off in season 4 and then have the group continue without him without filling that up. So filling that void. So kind of bad news for Fear, I want to say, for fans of Travis and the show, because if anything, if it doesn't mean that he's going to be killed off necessarily, but it could mean that he might get less time, or he might have other things to work on, and he might not always be able to do all the episodes, so they may have to kind of work that into the story and have him kind of fade out of the main group or something. That's really tough to say. In the future for Fear, I think is a little bit more shaky if you are to go on without Travis after how they set him up at the end of season 2. So we'll see. That's a bit in the future, though. Season 3, of course, we've got coming up with the 16 episodes pretty soon, so that's great to see at the beginning of June there. And I think probably for season 4 they can probably, swing it. They could probably figure it out. But going forward after that, it's going to be tricky if he's got these movies he's got to go work on all the time for several years. That's going to be tricky to see what they do with Fear, and how also the question will be how could Fear do without a character like Travis? They're going to have to kind of promo somebody else, get somebody else into that spot if they're going to kill Travis off. It's kind of hard to do it at this point. Though maybe you could go with like a leading female like Madison, but I don't know how fans would react to that, because so many people complain about Fear already. So write your comments below, guys. What do you think this means? Do you think that it's just such a big deal that you can't really see him doing both? It definitely is not good news, I think, for fans of Travis and Fear. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think, if he'll be killed off in season 4. Or just what they're going to do, how they could make that work, since he's such an important character in Fear. He's not like, a C-list character or something. I'd say he's a A-list character. He's one of the first. They made a couple figures for Fear in the McFarlane 7-inch series, and, Travis was one of the first 2. They went with Madison and Travis. So what does that tell you, right? So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think of that one. We'll do a few more questions for today's Q&A. Next one's from Christy Mccullough, who says, awesome video, Trev. Does anybody know when Z Nation's going to return? Z Nation's going to come back. So I believe Z Nation will probably hit around September-ish. Usually that's when it hits each year, September, October, something like that. Or, maybe like late August we'll get some kind of a trailer or something. Personally, I really enjoy Z Nation. I think it's a lot of fun. Do I think it's on the same level as The Walking Dead or Fear? No, I don't get that excited for Z Nation, but at the same time, when it's on, I definitely check it out and I enjoy it. And the end for the last season we had was really, really great. So I'm surprised to see Z Nation going on strong, but I'm happy that it is, because it's just a fun, silly series that you can kind of shut your brain off and enjoy if you like zombie apocalypse stuff. So yeah, it's fun. Rina Meyers says, I watch every video you make about The Walking Dead, Trev, and thank you for your hard work. My question is, do we know how the original group got together? So the Atlanta group we saw in the flashback scene with Shane, Lori, and Carl on the highway, that they met Carol and her family. But what about the others? Did I miss that? Do we know? My husband and I are rewatching all seasons during the break, and it was something we were discussing, and I said I would ask you. So for Rina and her husband, we're supposed to fill in the blanks so far as I know that they were all kind of in that area, and they kind of all just kind of joined up together and set up a camp and started to kind of join together. Obviously, when you have a group, other people are in need are probably going to want to join and are probably going to want to help out and do what they can and, kind of join up together with, zombies walking around everywhere and everything. So, so far as I know, that's the way we're supposed to fill in that blank. But I did really appreciate that they put in some of those flashback scenes, because I think some of those flashback scenes were some of the best parts of the first couple seasons. When we show Shane go to tell Lori what happened with Rick, and we get to see the napalm and everything in the city, and just to get kind of a whole feel for that early part, because those are some special moments that they couldn't really do nowadays. They couldn't really have a flashback like that. It's so out of context. So I really appreciate that they did those, and they kind of showed us how everything just kind of started off with the original group. And yeah, it's just my interpretation that they basically just kind of joined up together because they were all in that vicinity, is really all there is to it. And then the last one will be, hi Trev, I asked this before, but who do you think has been the biggest star to ever come on The Walking Dead? I still think Michael Rooker is the biggest, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think maybe JDM is a bigger star than him? Well, apparently maybe Travis will be, Cliff Curtis will be the biggest star to be on Walking Dead for Fear, depending on how the Avatar movies go. No, I mean, I think like if you look at some of their careers after Walking Dead, they usually do very well. John Bernthal has become a huge star after Walking Dead and his time Walking Dead. I mean, it catapulted his career into a new direction. He got his own series, lead in Mob City. It was a good show, and got canceled after the first season, which is unfortunate because I really did like it a lot. But yeah, so his career has been awesome. Punisher and everything like that after, but maybe the ones who were biggest before that they brought in, JDM might be the biggest star. Andrew Lincoln probably would be the biggest now after his time on Walking Dead is done, but it sounds to me like Walking Dead might take up majority of his career, which is okay because he'll be known kind of going forward as Rick from Walking Dead, and that's a huge that's huge. He's like your flagship actor, your flagship character, and same with Norman Reedus and some of the others as well too, Denai Guerrera and Melissa McBride. So, but I think maybe JDM is the biggest one they kind of brought in from the start. Michael Rooker is pretty big as well too, but JDM's been in so many different things, so many different series, and that it's kind of crazy. So, yeah, that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. We'll keep it a little bit short. Let me know what you think about Travis in the future for Fear the Walking Dead, and if you like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share and favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.